My name is Kim. I'm from Toronto, Canada, and I'm currently studying labor studies at McMaster University, which is in Hamilton, which is not too far from Toronto. So I came across Start Me Up through an Instagram ad that my brother had sent me. I just found the whole concept so unconventional and cool. And from that moment, that I saw the ad, I was like, okay, I was obsessed. I was looking into it. I was watching all the YouTube videos from years back, and I was looking at all the testimonials, and I was like, okay, this is definitely legit and really cool. I work for a e-commerce startup that sells strictly on Amazon, and I'm doing the market research for it by looking at competitor products and looking at the reviews and seeing what these customers are saying. I'm thinking about words and sentences I can put on the product listing, or finding colors that the product can be, finding the dimensions, coming up with brand names, like the name of the product itself, finding trademarks, looking at patents. It could be really anything. There isn't really a typical day-to-day, but the general structure of a day as an intern with Start Me Up is that you'll wake up, and I'm in Canada, so the workshops for me are early. So I'll wake up, I'll do a Start Me Up workshop, which is usually around an hour and a half. I'll take my notes, I'll ask my questions, that ends. And usually after that, I take a little break, and then I, get on a call with my startup, and, things just go down from there. We talk about the progress that I've made so far. We talk about any challenges that I faced, and we talk about my next tasks. And from there, I really kind of take on the day. I have a Shopify store. It's called Nha, N-H-A. It's a East Asian lifestyles brand. And so we sell strictly on Shopify. And going into this experience, I thought that I wanted to be with another e-commerce store that also sold on Shopify, but I was actually paired with an e-commerce store that sells strictly on Amazon and has been selling on Amazon for years. And essentially this entire experience kind of reshaped my understanding of my business model, and showed me an entire new business model that I didn't even know existed, and essentially taught me that I can do more than just one thing, because I'm not limited to doing one thing in life. And it was just a really amazing experience. And after going into this internship, I definitely want to, start my own Amazon business in the future. I was talking with the other intern the other day. We were talking about how, to ask questions is in order to learn, you have to ask questions, but sometimes you don't know what questions to ask because you know nothing about the field. You don't know where to start. You're starting from zero. So essentially this experience not only taught me a lot, but it taught me what questions to ask to begin with to further my knowledge. And I think that was probably the biggest, I'd say, gift, because you're building your knowledge off of that. And so much from what I've learned from the startup, I wouldn't have been able, I wouldn't even have known about if it wasn't for this. Definitely found the workshops useful. I was actually talking to Claire yesterday about how amazing it is that we had a future-proofing your career workshop. Oftentimes, I know university students, we have so much anxiety about the future and what it beholds. Okay, am I entering a dying industry, or what if I don't get a job? There's so much underemployment, and there's going to be so much automation, but we never really learn, at least in an academic setting, about how to future-proof your career. So I think that we learn really valuable skills that oftentimes universities don't talk about a lot. And we talk a lot about the issues that universities talk about, but essentially the Start Me Up workshops raise solutions to those issues, and I think that's really cool. One thing that I thought was that you had to be on your laptop 6 to 8 hours a day, and then someone would be checking in every 2 hours, kind of like micromanagement. Essentially remote work is exactly how work in the office would be, but just remotely. And that's completely not true. Like there aren't like hourly check-ins. Sometimes there aren't even daily check-ins. Like it's really up to you, and you really have that boundary like to within yourself. And yeah, so that's definitely one of the misconceptions I had. Definitely really want a remote career. Even prior to entering this experience, I knew that I wanted to work remotely, be my own, boss. And I actually think that this pandemic has forced so many companies to work remotely. Essentially, companies are like reshaping their entire workplace environment. And I feel like companies that don't after this pandemic, like that's not a company that I want to work for, because that's not a company that's prepared for anything that could happen. I guess the most surprising thing so far is just like the level of support. I was actually like really scared and anxious going into the experience, like, oh, like, what if I don't know anything? Like, what if I can't do the things that I'm given? Like, what do I do? Like, I don't want to be, a bad representation, of Start Me Up. So I was really like scared and anxious about that. But I do have a lot of support from my startup and as well as Start Me Up. I don't feel intimidated to reach out. I feel like, just I can shoot anyone a message anytime about any issue. I think you should definitely do it. We're stuck in quarantine anyways. Might as well, do something productive with our time.